What's going on, team? I'm ready. It's my final day before my cruise, but I'll tell you one thing. I want some steak on that cruise. So I'm going for that filet mignon today. You guys out there, smash the like. Who's getting ready to get after this market? Because it's time to make a little bit of that cash. Let me see what I can do on live trading. You guys out there, smash the like. And let's get it started.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. I mean, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
What up, traders? How we doing? Let's get to the action. Of course, you guys know I got my man Ryan Faloona in the house. We're going to take a look at this market, see what we can find today. I'm going to go first. Ryan will join me in second to talk about what he sees in the market. But good to see you, Kevin, from Lakeland, Florida. I know exactly where that is, Kevin. If you guys don't know, I went to UCF for college. So you guys know University of Central Florida. Go Knights. Go Knights. But Lakeland, I know exactly where that is. So shout out to you, Kevin. Good to see you in the chat. I haven't seen you before. So Kevin Hawthorne, good to see you in the chat. Tony, what up? How we doing out there? Quantum, NTG in the house. Raul Martinez Jr. We got to get the senior in here. Got to get him trading too. All right, we're going to keep it going. Silver Fox day trading out there. It's always good to see you guys. And to infinity and beyond, of course, like my man Buzz would say. Beach Bum, I'm ready to get some of those pina coladas going, but let's get to the market. Of course, yesterday, I had like KRE on, different trades. I actually cut KRE yesterday. Do I feel like this could run today? Yes. And so one of the things is yesterday, when we started seeing that downturn in the SPY, I got a little concerned that this was more of the Russian comments than the Fed comments. And so I started covering and just taking profits off the table. And certain times, there's times where I look at my charts, and even if they look bullish, but the overall market is showing me rotation against my move, I've learned to be a little bit more quicker to the profits than letting profits vanish. I've had this happen to me plenty of times. And of course, this is process approach, learning. You guys don't have to take it exactly like me, but I like to explain these situations that I go through so that you guys can learn from that. So as it was coming down yesterday, I said, you know what? Too much downside action for me. I'm seeing a lot of my gains just starting to go down. So instead of letting them just completely vanish back to zero or to the risk side, I just started taking profits. I was like, ding, take profits here, take profits there, take profits here. And what does that do? That gave me an ability to go into new positions, right? Because if I have some gains, now I can use some of that house's money to play some more. So yesterday I took some gains, and what did I do? I flipped on some of the market. I went short Meta. Shorting Meta overnight. Not looking too bad. I'm up a pretty good amount here, over a 1%. We'll see if we can get some downside action at the open, right back towards those 210s. But I got 214.40 yesterday, and I went long on the SQQ. So SQQ up there to 31s this morning, 31.25. I got this one at 30.87 yesterday. We're just slightly in the green right now. We'll see if this can keep going higher, but this was what it's all about, right? And so I was able to kind of switch over and just kind of change my trade immediately. And this is what I've been trying to do more and more. You guys hear me mention it, quick, nimble. There's one thing that's very important and I'm learning more and more about is trying to just manage risk, right? Rewards will come almost. As long as I stay in my process, stay to my strategies, rewards will come. Now, the most important thing of always is going to be risk preservation. Knowing when to cut, knowing when to hit the brake pedal is so important to me. And then always, when we get the chance, we'll hit that gas pedal too. All right, let's get out of this. Meta today is going to be one that I'll be watching. Of course, I've mentioned those. I still have American Airlines. This is one that I'm doing a little bit longer term hold on. GOLD took some profits on this one yesterday just to take profits off, right? But I still have a little piece of Gilead, so we'll look to see if this can continue to run. It's back above the trend line. I'll look for this to keep making a move up. And then Honeywell is my trade that's in the red today. Going to look to try to add towards below 195 today. I was looking at 195. So if I can get slightly below 195 at the open here, I'll do a little add on Honeywell. But that's going to be it for my swing outlook. Now, I will be looking at different stocks today. I think lithium names can go lower. I mentioned this yesterday. This could keep cracking. I also started seeing the tech trade turn around. So one area that we can look at is like the solar names. They had a really good day yesterday. Will they have another good day today? Keep an eye out on like First Solar, some of these solar names, and we'll see what happens there. Tesla, another one to watch, right? Did it just kind of do a little bit of a red day, reverses today into the green? That's one thing that I'll be looking at just to give me a little bit of a reading on how tech is moving. But enough for Tesla, enough for my swing trades. I'm going to go ahead and kick it to my man Ryan here and just give him a second while he shares the screen here.
I was like, you can go. I'm ready. But yeah, I guess I got to share my screen for that to be the case.
No worries. Not a worry. We'll get your outlook here in just a second. You guys out there, smash the like, guys. And 9:45, we do got some numbers coming in, and I see you guys in the chat already talking about it. So keep your eyes on those. PMI, Easy Mike. Yeah, 9:45. Walter has it. He's got our eyes out there. I see you guys. Let's kick it to Ryan.
All right, so we're going to start off by taking a look at the SPY. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Hopefully you all have a great day and a great weekend. Taking a look at the SPY here, I'm obviously nothing has changed for me. I'm still in the bearish camp. And one of the things that you'll notice simply by looking at this chart is that we did trade up to this trend line. We've really kind of come back off that trend line, but we did find support at this 410.68. This area between 403 and 410 was marked off as a pretty good resistance area, but now that we have multiple closes above it, it has now become support. So we were unable to drop down through this support level yesterday. Today, we're actually up fractionally. When I woke up, the market was down a little bit. Now it's up a little bit. It's for the most part just flat. I think we're probably waiting on those PMI numbers that you folks are talking about. So we'll see how that actually affects the market. With that being said, I think that maybe after that, and after that's digested, we might be in for kind of a slow day in terms of some of the indexes and larger cap. We'll see if we get any other type of news or anything like that. But I suspect that we'll probably be within this range. In fact, looking at this candle, I wouldn't be shocked if today was an inside day, meaning if we didn't take out the top of yesterday's previous candle, which is at about 413.71. Now, even if we do take that out, I really don't see us going past the trend line. And unless the market really softens here, I really don't see us breaking down beneath 410. So I think for the SPY here, we'll probably be in a little tight range. Still means we can trade some of those ETFs if we come across those, but we're going to be taking a look at some of the smaller cap stocks for some day trades here as well. First one that I want to cover is PRST, right? Presto Automation. We recently did an interview. This has been on our radar before. And as you can see here, we're getting some more action this morning. We did pop as high as 339. We've come back in now. Looks like we were holding 3 here, which I might as well go ahead and mark off. 302, 3 to 302. We'll see if this actually sets up and gives us a move. One of the things I really like about this is that since we've pushed up to 339, now we've actually pulled right beneath the VWAP, and we're kind of right at that VWAP. So we might have setups pretty early, although I don't necessarily want to rush it out of the gate. PRST, definitely on watch here today. Next is going to be MGRX, and this is Mango Ceuticals. Interesting name. Anyway, they did pop as high as 175. I don't really see any news here. Or any new news. So maybe this is just trading action, but we were as high as 175. We came back into 123. We've now pushed away from the VWAP. It looks like we're going to go try to challenge this 175. Well, again, we'll wait for this to set up once the market opens. Next is going to be VSIG, and this is VCI Global Limited. They popped up as high as 398 here today. Again, don't really see any news here, so kind of just some of these smaller stock moves. We're about right at the VWAP. So again, here, a lot of what we're going to be doing today, or what I'm going to be doing in terms of looking at this, is taking a look at the VWAP and seeing how the stocks actually perform around the VWAP. I'm not a really big Friday trader. It's not my thing, but we're going to keep our eyes open for anything that we can find here today. MGIH. We were as high as 299, come all the way back in and held this 215 level. That's great. We might get a run towards the VWAP here. That would give us a nice little scalp. WLGS. This one, this could get wild later today, but I'd be very, very careful with this. Of all of the stocks that I'm going to cover on today's list, this is the one that I would be the most careful about. We were as high as 1464. We're down here at 389, VWAP at 613. So it just goes to give you an idea of how crazy this stock has been. This is Wang Lean Group. I've actually never heard of this before. I don't even have a float reading or a company description. So again, be very, very careful with this one. We'll see if we get some trading action. I know any of you that probably traded UCAR yesterday, the IPO that went absolutely bananas, you're probably not put off by a stock like this, but just kind of keep in mind where we've been and where we might be going to. So WLGS looks a little risky here, but we'll see if we end up getting a move here. NBY, this is Nova Bay Pharmaceuticals. This popped as high as 278. We do have a catalyst here. We've come back in just under 2, but it looks like we're kind of holding it here. So maybe we'll get a curl and a move back towards the VWAP. Your catalyst here, Nova Bay Pharmaceutical shares are trading higher after the company announced its launch of the Derma Doctors Comfort Plus Joy Psoriasis Therapeutic Moisturizing Cream. Boy, couldn't they just come up with an acronym to make that a little bit easier on us? For heaven's sakes. On QVC networks. So those home shopping networks on cable TV that I don't know anybody that watches. Anyway, we did pop as high as 278 here. Let's see if we make a move back towards the VWAP. A lot of these I don't really trust. I don't really know. So I really want to kind of get a feel of how these are going to trade. PRST we already covered. Let's take a look through the rest of the list here. AZYO. This is Azeo Biologics. I feel like we've traded this before. They're trading higher because the company announced Lemaitre will become the exclusive distributor of their cardiovascular patches in the United States. So I suppose that's good news there. We'll see if this ends up setting up. And then next is going to be Buru. We've talked about Buru before. This one getting some action here this morning. Now you can see on the 15-minute chart, the last time we traded this, we were between $5 and $8. We're down here at $1.96. This stock has really, really sold off. Again, this is going to be one of those where if you get your gains in this stock here today, do not be afraid to take them. I don't think there's any type of long-term outlook here. 223 was as high as where we are in the pre-market. I expect 2 to get challenged here and probably the VWAP as well. So that takes care of Buru. Veru is up. This stock really hasn't shown a whole lot of strength, so we'll see if we end up getting that. Amazon showing some strength here this morning. This one's a little crazy. Bitcoin under 30,000, so not sure about those Mara and Riot plays yet. Let's see if we get any strength with Bitcoin moving in either direction before we try trading these. Amazon having a really good day. This might just go with the general market here. I know a couple of you guys were trading Amazon options, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe there will be some more of that here today. Take a look at the daily chart here on Amazon. You can see really what we're trying to do. Oh, let me zoom in here. Come on, Pro. It looks like what we're trying to do is really bounce off this 80 level and now continue the next move higher. Now, there is a gap here, right? There was this one candle, this one pop-up here on February 2nd, all right? And there's actually a gap to the bottom of that at about 109, but previously from this first drop, there's a gap up to about 111. So let's see if Amazon starts to clear any of that stuff out here today. Amazon generally a pretty big mover. And it's also worth mentioning AT&T. We talked a lot about this on the happy hour. This is a dividend play. We actually had a couple of guys in their longer term accounts that added yesterday, just added kind of small. And we have another gentleman that's waiting for 14s or they're about to add to AT&T. So this is not a growth play. This would strictly be an income play. So be a longer term play. But I did hear that a bunch of people are actually stuck in this, kind of waiting for this to maybe come in and see if we go or see if they can add some more. One thing here is that if we break to the downside, this might get a little extended, might trade a little quickly. We'll have to see how that goes. Now, while we wait for Mitch to get back here, let's go ahead and go through some tickers that you folks have in the chat. One of the things that I wanted to mention is that next week, it's pretty much just going to be me most of next week. Mitch is going to be on his cruise. We're all going to be waiting for his boots on the ground report from Royal Caribbean and how those cruise lines are doing. Maybe we'll get some insight from Mitch. Zunaid will be out most of the week as well. So what I would say is, whatever plays that you guys want to take a look at, let's do it. Let's go take a look at it. Help me out. I'm not as adept as Mitch is at running the show on my own. I'm going to try and bring you some guests. so we can have some fun, but just kind of keep that in mind here for next week. We are here for you, Rye. Why, Rye? You my guy. I appreciate it. I know that you guys are all really, really supportive, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Anyway, Will asking about Run and Zook. So let's take a look at those. So Mitch gave you his outlook on Solar. Sun Run, of course, ticker Run, that kind of fits into it. These definitely look like they're kind of turning up. I can't remember exactly what Mitch's outlook was on First Solar. We'll ask him when he gets back if he really likes Run. The thing here about Run is that I'd really like to take out this formation, right? We kind of traded down here. We're bouncing. We want this strength to continue. So I'd like to move up into this other consolidation zone around 24. We'll see if Run has that kind of strength here today. I didn't really see anything in the news. Okay, so there's this impact report. I'm gonna have to go through this. There's gonna be a lot of just ESG stuff in here that's not necessarily going to be important to the stock, but we'll go through that and see if there's anything that we can take from that. The other stock that you wanted to take a look at, let's see if I can find it. OCEA, right? So this is another one of those small caps that gave us multiple opportunities to trade this on different days. You can actually see the lines that are still here. OCEA, not really doing a whole lot here today. We are kind of trading sideways, holding the 688 support, but really no volume yet. The thing here with OCEA is that this is not any type of stock that I would be comfortable holding on to for any period of time. So when it comes to shorter term day trades, really what's going to be the most important, even more important than some of the levels, is going to be the volume. Are we going to be able to trade it? Is it going to have any type of momentum move, this, that, and the other? I don't see it yet here today, but pretty good idea to keep this on watch. Take a look at the 15-minute chart. You can see really what we've done here. We popped into this area. We're kind of trading sideways. And again, what we really need to do is get this area here between 638 to 639 and right up here at 761. We really want to kind of clear that out. That would set us up for moving back up towards the top. We'll see if we end up doing that. I mean, I don't really think that this is anything really serious. I don't really know a whole lot about it, but this could be in play here today. Crow wants to take a look at AUGX, saying that is still on watch. AUGX was on watch yesterday. We did get a pop back a little bit later in the day here. The good news here, Crow, first of all, we don't have the volume that I'd really like to see here in the pre-market. If you look at today's volume versus yesterday's volume, it's very, very different. The good news, however, is that we really haven't broken down, right? So many of these charts, we see them trade up, maybe they consolidate for a little bit and then they sell back off. This one hasn't broken down at all. It's really kind of holding above 3. And in fact, right now it's at 315. I got the VWAP here at 336. So we'll see if we can end up moving through that 328, maybe take the VWAP out and move towards the highs here. 373 going to be the high print from yesterday in the pre-market show, or in the pre-market session. We'll see if we get back there today. Monty, we already covered PRST, absolutely on watch here today. Smoked Tuna saying MGRX looking good. In fact, it did take out that 175 prior to this prior to the open here. 187 going to be your high print. We shall see if that is on deck here today. Let's go. And what else do you folks want to take a look at?
What they got in there, what they got. What you guys got out there? Quantum says Target. Oh, man. I talked about Target this morning. I was going to look at it a little bit. Did you see Costco, man, Ryan? Costco, man. That's one of those misses, right? And I think that one of the hardest things for me, Ryan, I don't know about you, but one of the hardest things for me is when I plan out a trade and don't take it. Like I did all the research. I looked into it. I was like, I like this one. I like the levels, and then just don't take it. Those are the frustrating trades for me.
Yeah, Mitch, that used to be one of the frustrating things for me. I've realized after, just 8 years of doing this, that there's always going to be another opportunity. So I've tried. I don't really get mad about missing. Here's what I get mad about, Mitch, and we actually saw this earlier this week happen to me on CNSP or CSNP. I hate it when you have a plan. This is what happened on cat too, that cat swing, by the way. I hate it when you have a plan, you get shaken out because of whatever risk parameters that you have, and then your plan goes ahead and comes to fruition. That to me is more frustrating, because it's like you did the work, you had the thesis, you used risk management to try to keep yourself protected and make sure that if you do take a loss, it's only a small loss and it's recoverable. And then you just kind of get shaken from it. A lot of you folks in the chat here talk about putting your stops out, getting flushed out. It's part of the game, but that to me has become more frustrating than simply missing something.
Oh, and I did not get my BFRG yesterday. So I know the chat acts there. Smoke Tuna asked if I got the Bullfrog AI, and I like this one. I love the setup. Was talking about it when it went through 7 yesterday, and was looking for an 80 pullback. And guess what? I got the 80 pullback. It went to 83 here later at 11:10. But guess what I was doing? I was watching the freaking prices right. So I went to go take a little bit.
Work, but if you're going to say that you were watching the prices right,
that's my break. That's my break time, right? I don't get to take breakfast, so I take breakfast at 11. That's the truth, right? I don't know about you guys, but I can't eat at 6 a.m. So it's either 6 or 11 for me. So that I usually just take breakfast at 11. That's true. That's what I do. So after the show, I'll usually just go take a little bit of like a 15, 20 to just go take some nice breakfast, right? I think it's important. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And if you don't get it, then what do you expect later on in the day you're going to be able to drive off for lunch? We'll see what happens. BFRG gone higher now to 859. Will sound ever get going? This is the one that's really stomped me. I've been trying to kind of read this one, and I like the pattern, but it just doesn't move. It just doesn't want to get going. And that's okay too. That's all right to see that. KDP already giving me alert here. 931 team. Let's see what happens here. Meta already into the green. KDP on my radar. This is a defensive play to play this out of this bottoming area. I really like this play right now. So I got no problem taking a swing on this one. The problem here is I can't swing trade. I won't be here on Monday. So I'm just going to day trade maybe one or two of these today. But this one looks interesting for me. Let's get it, team. Let's see what is going on in Meta right now. Meta down to 210. I want this to continue going lower. SQQ's pulling back here. I might actually add to this trade. I got this yesterday. So I'm at 30.87. So right now, right around this pricing, I'm gonna let it test these lows first because I have a smaller size right now and I can let it test that. But as it comes back around, if it can just test this and come back towards 31, I'll start adding for the push. We'll see what happens, really. We'll look at the SPY. SPY is actually going up here out the gates. Qs are actually going up here out the gates. So it doesn't look good for me right now. But Meta's still down, so I might just take my profits in Meta and look to see what happens in that SQQQ trade. As a matter of fact, I'm looking to take some profits in Meta right now. Got no problem. I'm just going to look to see if it rejects 211 right now. If it rejects this 211.44s, doesn't go through that level, we can still stay in it. But anything above that, I'll get out.
All right, UCAR here. First move out of the gate is up for UCAR. We did go through the VWAP. We're now coming back and testing the VWAP. There's no way I'm trading UCAR. I definitely don't trust this thing. I think that the big trades were yesterday. Stock went from 8 to 75. But for all of you gunslingers out there, we're right at the VWAP here, so it's almost time to make a decision. Mullen, the stock's popping here a little bit. I'm not going to trade Mullen. I know a lot of you guys end up looking at this, so figure we mention it. MGRX here. First move is back down towards the VWAP. I'd actually like for this to come into the VWAP first before getting our setup. So we'll see if we end up getting that.
Covered there on the Meta, took like not too bad. It was about a little bit over 1% there. Not too bad there for the Meta trade. Just overnight swing. Bomb, in and out. Not going to fight it, right? I can always battle today, but taking the profits and now can focus on the trading action. We'll see what happens. Gotta take that money.
Halted.
Gotta take that money. You know I'm always watching that money. Got to take the cash first. Cash first, rewards first, and then I can worry about new trades, right? Because
Mitch, Sydney is suggesting that you check out the offshore oil rigs from your cruise. Curious to know if you're going to sell or buy any of those.
I hope I don't get close enough to those. Big old shoes, big old cruise ship. I don't want to get close to one of those.
Buru, guys. Buru here. First move up to the VWAP. This is one of the ones that we had on watch. Let me go ahead and re-add the lines here on Buru. This is a fun, I'll be honest, this is a fun ticker name. Buru is a fun ticker name. See anything on the Twitter streets yet?
Looking right now to see if I can get another rejection here in Microsoft. Might go short Microsoft here, team.
Tech looking strong out of the gate here. I know Apple was down. Did you see any news on Apple, by the way? I didn't see why it was down over $2 in the pre-market. I guess the
starter there on Microsoft short. Started there on Microsoft short. So the news was in Bloomberg Terminal. I caught it like right before the show, Ryan, but it was in Bloomberg Terminal.
What was the news?
It's demand news. It's demand news.
Okay.
Weak demand. But it's kind of like news that's already been given in.
Yeah, I was going to say that to me that's not to me that's not really a big mover, frankly.
Yeah,
and Apple.
It was about Apple. That's the only reason.
That gap down on, sorry for running you over there, Mitch. That gap down on Apple's getting bought back here. Now, we did go up to the VWAP. Let's see if we move higher here. I know that you're short Microsoft here, but looks like the market is trying to recover, at least so far.
Yeah, I really like that pullback here for SQQQs. Tried to get back there to 31s. I'm adding to the SQQ trade there. Just added now at 30.92s. And can look for this to get break right back above the 31s here. And remember how I started in the morning and I didn't have that like this line drawn. I just literally just did a little analysis, said, you know what? I'm gonna look to see a double bottom there, something bottom there, and reverse back through 31. Exactly what happened. So instead of like thinking again here, purely execute. I said if it goes to 31, I'd look for a pullback. It went right to 31, pulled back. I added. Let's see what happens. And sometimes it's as simple as that. Kicking it to you, Ryan.
Yeah, no, and I actually think that I like playing those ETFs more than some of the individual names, but we'll see if that ends up materializing. Paul is saying it was TSM, Taiwan Semiconductor, that had weak demand, not Apple. I think what you're referring to here, Paul, is the ASML. There was a capacity issue. There's a note here in the newsfeed about not worrying about the drop in orders, but we'll see where that ends up going. As Mitch was saying, I think there was fresher news on Apple here today, but in terms of it coming out, but I think that it was something that was kind of already known, maybe even recycled a little bit. TSM, by the way, after the big day yesterday, selling off out of the gate here, we're actually back to the pre-report levels on TSM. So that pop here, not really working. By the way, MGRX did come in a little bit, almost to that VWAP, starting to bounce. Let's see if it takes out 187 here to the upside. MGRX.
All right, working my position here in Microsoft. Just get another little ad there as it's turned around from the VWAP. Now going to look to see if it can go back to the low of the day. I'll take majority of it off there and then look for continuation to the downside. I want to see the SQQQs take off here. We're in the 3107s already, so that doesn't look too bad. And the Qs going lower right out the gates here now. It did do a little bit of an up move, but that could have been a little bit of a bull trap. Going to look to see if we decline a little bit. Microsoft's been really strong, so I'm going to be careful here. NVIDIA is another one to watch. That's already gone to the red, 268 from the 270 spot. I don't mind that one if it can come back here to 270s, but we'll see what happens on the day. Got to keep battling. Let's get after it. All right, got to put my multiple charts up as I got a lot of trades going on, and I got to keep watch. Remember this RMD I had yesterday. This thing just started spiking in the pre-market, little spike here out the gates. I'll keep watch on it today.
WLGS, that Wang Lee, that is open now. Looks like it's kind of going back and forth here. This looks like this might try to push higher here if any of these buyers can step in. This one, remember, halt right out of the gate here. Was as high as what, 14.5, back down to a 4 handle. Joe Long Oxy looking for the oil trade here.
I'm gonna look to see if we get a rejection at 285 here. Anything above 285 on Microsoft, I'll just end up getting out. There, it's already kind of testing that. We'll see if it just wicks here and then comes right back down, but looking to probably get out here on Microsoft. There's a little bit of a push here. As it comes back, I'll probably just get out here. That's a hard pull back here. Let me see if it cuts through the 285 right now. There's the cut right back down through the 285. So it's wicks can be your tricks, but I'll see right now if we get right back up of the 285, we'll probably take out that wick. So just going to be really quick here on Microsoft to see if it doesn't come back through 285. SQQQ is still looking good here. It's all about the Qs. If we're going to just really kind of leak down, and really I'm kind of watching the strong names like Apple. Apple's actually making an up move here against the market. So that's one that's actually on the upside there. So I can keep that one on the radar. Google also just slightly above VWAP there. Tesla, how's that doing? That's actually in the red there. TSM still going down there. So how's Meta? Meta's just hanging out at the 211. Could get back into that name if I need to today. And I'm just looking at it to see what happens. Q's trying to bounce here at VWAP. I'm going to look to see if we get a move towards 315 here. That's really what I want to see for a real washout here. I need some water. I'll be right back, guys.
Amazon looking like it's losing some of that pre-market strength here and kind of turning back. Let's go ahead and flip over. Yep, perfect. MGRX did break that 187 going higher here. Good volume here on MGRX. This might be a runner here today. I'm a little bit late on this. Crow saying it's going for 2. I tend to agree. Let's see if we pop above 2. Let's take a look and see if we can find any other upside targets here. So move through 2, maybe 215 as a next spot. 215, 216. Maybe 258 after that. So MGRX definitely showing us some strength here today. Good volume, nice expansion, nice move through the key level. A lot of good things going here on MGRX.
It's a battle right now. Q's coming right back to the upside now. So just be careful out there, team. Battle's on. All right, now we're starting to see a little bit of declining action here. So I'm going to start seeing if we could actually make a hard move to the downside here. And of course, I'm just keeping an eye on the Qs mainly because I'm trying to see if tech turns around today. If tech turns around, that's volume to the Qs, right? So right now, we even got a little bit of a trend line to the upside. Above, let's say 316.25s, we'll probably see this turn around and tech can go green. So that's where I'm just watching it. It's all about situational here. Probably some will stop me out. One will give me in the green. Like always, you guys make your own processed approach. We'll see what happens. I also like if the Qs do make that hard side action move, I could look for Meta just flip right back down. So just got to be a little bit careful here. It's still early in the day. We'll find out what happens.
UCAR, by the way, already been halted one time to the downside. Looks like it's trying to bounce here, but again, I'd be real careful with this one. WLGS looks like this is now halted to the downside as well. PRST just trading sideways so far. Buru just kind of flirting with that VWAP. We'll see if we can break above that. MGRX, definitely the strong one here up to that second level. Let's see if we take that out here on MGRX. I got a high print of 219, now 224. MGRX, continued strength. If you have this from earlier, definitely book some here on this breakout. We'll see if you how much higher this will go. But again, theme here is if you get gains early, don't be afraid to book some or all of those gains. Don't let things come back in on you.
All right, like that kind of bottoming action here. I just got to be really careful now as we're seeing the Qs did do that little up move, but it's a wick here. We'll see where it closes. Above the 285 for Microsoft, I'll get out on that one. Looking to see if I get out on the SQQQ here also. All right, guys. I'm going to be in the background right quick. I just got a phone call right quick, but you guys, I can even bring my charts up. I'll be trading. I'll just be taking
do what you need to do, Mitch. I got it. We'll be fine when you get back from your phone call. That's how it goes. I got one to make here in a little bit as well. I'm just kind of watching the scanner here. Really, the only thing of interest that I see at the moment is MGRX. And looking at the regular market, we really haven't done much. Down a little bit, but kind of holding in that range, really not having any type of movement yet. Take a look at that. So Apple went pretty much back to where it was yesterday and stopped there. Be interesting to see if we can go green here on Apple. That would be really bullish for some of the other tech names as well, by the way. Let's check in on Microsoft. Microsoft holding in. Looked like that first down move there on Mitch's short, kind of holding back here. Really, I mean, I think I'll let Mitch talk about his own strategy, but trying to go maybe above the VWAP and then yesterday's closing price might invalidate that. We'll see. We'll see if there's any weakness building here in Microsoft. Mitch, you have to take a call when the president calls you, Sal. You got that right. President calls, you got to take that one. Even if you don't like him, you got to take it. The fucking president. All right, I don't really see anything else at the moment. AYZO, this is kind of disappointing. Really hasn't done much anything. MGOL, I feel like this was a big runner at some point in the past. Yeah, I was going to say, I think this ticker sounds familiar, although I don't really have experience with it. Roku having a fairly decent day. That's green, bucking the trend of some of the other tech names. Wish, this is still around. What happened here on Wish? Didn't this go for a reverse split pretty soon? 50 million share buyback. Yeah, don't fall for the reverse split. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
All right. Risk is getting a little bit too much there for the Microsoft. It just keeps coming up to this 285. So I got out of the Microsoft trade there for a loss on the day for the day trade. I still got the SQQQs here, and the Qs are looking like they want higher here. So be careful if you're on the short side right now. It looks like the Qs are pushing a little bit here, but really it's kind of indecision because there's a lot of wick here. So it could be another wick out there for Microsoft, but at least I'm still in the SQQQs. If it actually comes back through 31 on hard action, I'll add there, but I got to be careful on stopping out, just making sure that I don't get too cut through the 3080. Like always, you guys determine what you guys are looking at, but it's that type of day where we're looking a little bit of choppiness here. I think we're going to get a speed up motion. All right, what are you guys taking a look at in the chat? Getting puts on Nail. Nail's the home builder one. I've heard about that one. PG. Nice move, Quantum. Remember yesterday I had PG. I had to sell it early, though. I didn't want to take it to the earnings. If you got that through the earnings, Quantum, power to you, my friend. Power to you. SQQQs coming a little lower here. Got to be careful as I'm seeing the Qs trying to push. Microsoft still staying above that 285 here. Qs could push higher here, at least from the chart itself. It's holding on here on the 15-minute. But I'm just pretty much just watching this trend right now on the 15-minute, seeing if we're going to make an opening, what they call the orb move. Are we going above this 316 or below the 315.75? So that's what I'm watching here. I might even add to this SQQQs as we come back up through 31s. And then I'll probably go after Meta again. If the Qs do the move. Got no problem coming right back after Meta today. This is one of those days where it's a battle day right out the gates. And then after this, I'll determine, how I can adjust to what the market did versus what I'm looking for it to do, right? I think that's very important. When you're taking your trades, take your trades. But if you do get stopped out, take a reassessment. Was it like a mistake on the outlook? Was it that the market went against you? These are all things you need to be asking yourself. Always ask yourself what kind of current environment you're in to stay on top, team. PMI's 53.7 versus 51.5 estimate. Christopher, appreciate your Christoph. How would you say that, Ryan? Christoph. Thank you. I don't want to say his name wrong.
Yeah, I'm like that too. I'm like that too. I feel like I've been pronouncing names wrong. I definitely want to be corrected if I pronounce your name wrong.
Yeah. I want to be corrected too. I know how important that is. I lived all my life with that. Tell you the truth, my name's not Mitch. Shh.
I know what it is.
Ryan knows.
Do you know how? Do you know how I know, Mitch?
How do you know?
When you joined my fantasy league, you had your real name on your account.
You saw it.
By the way, MGRX here, this one really rocking here. Great back test of the 216, now moving up 258, definitely next. And that looks like that's coming here. So MGRX volume looking really, really good here. Again, be really careful with this though, because at some point we are going to get a pullback. We are extremely extended from the VWAP here. VWAP still under 2. So just be careful with this, especially if you're not going to take it. Or excuse me, especially if you're going to take a new trade here.
All right, now I'm starting to see that hard action here in the Qs, but what is it doing? It's just staying in between. Is it Cosmo?
So this is great because for me, this is tapping into my Seinfeld fandom. Okay, there was a big running plot line in the Seinfeld series, not even just a season or an episode, but the entire series where nobody knew Kramer's first name, and there was an entire episode about it being Cosmo, and it's one of the funnier episodes out there. So, Stock Pigeon, props to you for the Seinfeld reference. No, Mitch's real name is not Cosmo.
I like that one. I like it.
Love
Definitely. We got a couple there. Someone said money. I mean, hey, that ain't too far off. But yeah, I got you, bro. I got you right here.
There we go.
It's helping my trade somehow. I don't know how. All right, guys, I'm gonna go short meta here. Short meta here, 211.53. Just saw the Qs break through there. Added on the SQQQs there. So I have 30.94. Starting to see that downside break in the Qs here. Draw that trade out a little bit there for myself. And like always, you guys choose your levels. Look at the Qs turn around there. Right off of that 316 level. 15-minute wicks started showing me a little bit of selling pressure at the tops there. Now we're back towards 315. There's the SQQQs with a nice little lift here. And Meta going right back down here. Remember, I covered into the move. Now I'm going right back into it. There we go. That's some downside continuation. I'm going to look to see if we can keep this move going here. I'm going to take some profits in a little bit here on the SQQQs, but that feels like I can get towards 31.25s for first profits. There's the speed up that I was looking for. I'm going to see if we can keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. All right, going to look to take some profits off in a little bit as we break through the 31.20s here. There's the SQQQs, the 315.20s here. Going to look to start seeing if we see declining action in strong stocks and defensive stocks, maybe making a little bit of move higher. PG, does that even pull back there? Look at that 315s now going on the Qs. There's the SQQQs, the 31.20s now. Going to look for a little bit more push. I think we can even get to the 31.30s. There's some momentum in this move. I'm riding it. Let's see what happens.
The Seinfeld references are flowing now, and I am here for it. He's the real Bob Sacamano selling nutrition rat hats. Oh, you folks never let us down. That's why you're
very nice.
Very nice. Very nice. All right, well, let's see what's happening here. We're getting some action there. Definitely the Q's hard action to the downside here as I reloaded there in Meta. Could see that trend line break here on Meta, and I said, you know what, trend line break, I know where my risk is. That's all that matters a lot of the times is I'll take a shot as long as I know where my risk is. And we did get up there to the 24. Didn't take profits in the SQQQs. Maybe I'm getting a little greedy on that. But I'm looking for a little bit more here. We'll see what happens as the Qs start making a little bit of a bounce back. Let's go to the 5-minute, continue the action. Now for me, if anything comes back through that 315.75 spot, that's where I got to be a little bit of alert for reversal. But other than that, I'm looking for pre-market action to see if we hold those lows. That's towards 314.65. And I would call out another level right around here, 314.82s. We stopped right now at 314.87. I'm going to look to see if we get through that 314 level and continue lower.
MGOL is kind of curling back up here. Not sure that volume's looking really good though. Next level here, 125, currently at 113. Good entry would have been at the VWAP at 108. Pushing a little higher here. MGRX still one of the better plays here. We came back into this 216. Let's see if we bounce here, or it's possible that we bounce from here, but it's also possible that this rolls over and comes into the VWAP. So I have no position in this. I'd actually really like the VWAP instead of this 216. We actually held this one time. So I'd actually like this to come back into the VWAP, but we'll see if we end up getting that. The two best plays so far that I see here today in terms of these small caps. MGRX for sure, and then maybe MGOL if it sets up. Yeah, looks like Crow's looking for the same thing. He's looking for a more of a VWAP test than this test here at 216. I think that's pretty spot on, honestly. We'll see. It's bouncing from 216 for a second time here, so we'll see if that's correct or not. And by the way, this could still, this bounce could kind of just roll over and we could still get another test here later in the day. We might not just get it here in the morning. Looking pretty good so far here. Going for those highs. 246, your spot here. I'll let you know if I see anything of note on the level 2. Haven't yet so far. Ron, good to see you again, Ron. Calling out Fitbit, FITB, or it's Fifth Third Bank, excuse me. Fitbit is Fit. Is it still even a stock, or am I just dating myself? Yeah, it's not even a stock anymore. That's embarrassing.
It's all good, man. It's all good. I think someone bought Fitbit. That's what
yes, I think so too. And Ron, really good spot here, because for me, it looks like if Fifth Third Bank is going to continue to be strong here, one of the things that we're likely to do is trade back up towards balance here at 35. So this one here, if you're a believer in the banks, Ron, this might actually be a little bit better than a day trade. You might be able to get some better moves here as a potential swing trade. But again, you really got to feel good about the banks. I'm not there yet, although Fed has really kind of been telling us that they're going to make sure nothing really goes wrong. Fifth Third Bank, possible move back up to 35.
All right, guys, not looking too bad here. Even in the meta, we're back to the VWAP. Want to see if we can cut this 211 here, make another leg lower here. I'll take some profits in meta and the SQQQs if we can get another little leg here. Qs right back down towards the lows. I think they're going to start testing these kind of levels that I was looking at, 314.80s, 314.65s, looking to see what happens here. Do we break through it? Don't want to see this candle go red to green here. I want it to stay on the red. And then I can test this high of the day on the pre-market for the SQQQs. There's the move that I was looking for. That's not too bad there. I'm going to take some off there on meta first, and then I'm looking for the SQQQs. Let's get a little bit off here. And I'll take that. That's not too bad. Just took a half off there on the SQQQ trade right there at the 31. So just like respecting what I'm looking at, right? And just taking the execution. So now look how the levels held right there. It went to 314.52. I did 314.53. I'm sorry, team. 1 cent off. But we'll see right now.
Mitch, tighten that up, okay? Tighten up your 1 cent off.
My bad there. We'll see what happens to the Qs now. That was pre-market low. So it's not like I'm like a genius or anything, right? It's just pre-market lows trying to test down, right? Now let's see what happens now. Do we start taking out these levels? You see how it retraces there? That's why I like to take profits, because the first action, the momentum move, I took some profits. Now I want to see if we get continuation. This is where it's been hard in this market. A lot of times when we get these range moves to the upside, then all of a sudden we get a move right back to the, like, let's say if it goes to the VWAP, it could pretty much stop me out of these trades. We'll find out what happens. A lot of action.
MGRX took out that 258 spot. So the bounce from 216, the bounce from 216 has worked twice. Now we are getting extended from the VWAP. So again, I do expect at some point a pullback here, regression towards the mean. But so far, this is working here from the 216.
MP made a new 52-week low. Man, they're washing all the specs. There's the Qs coming right back. That's where you got to be careful. That's why I'm glad I took some profits here in meta. Want to make sure that I don't lose on this trade from this point on. That's the important thing. One of the things that I really don't like doing is after I got gains, give them back. That's one thing I don't do. I'd rather get out of the trade than battle it. So for the SQQQs, that's 30.94 for me. One thing that I like, at least, that's below VWAP. If I'm long a name, I want to be below VWAP, hopefully. I'm not saying that it's always going to happen, right? But if I'm below VWAP, that gives me a lot of times what? Ability to watch for the stock to come back to VWAP and bounce off that level. So that gives me a lot more confidence in the position if I look back at the stock and I can be like, oh, so 94s, that's down here. VWAP at 3103s gives me a little bit of a cushion. Markets lifting. Buru? What's Buru? I have no idea what this one is. That one got crushed. Buru. All right, MGRX. Ooh, that boy Keith. Keith, get it. It's not a bad move there. Oh, it's a medical care company. HCA. Medical care company. Sympathy move? There's another one that I wanted to watch in that space. That was UHS. Look at that move. Oh, I didn't even know this one. I found this one today, team. I'm not going to take the trade because it's pretty. Look at that. Look at that. We'll see if it can get through the 141. But I mentioned this one in pre-market prep because all I did was just do as simple as this, team. I do this all the time. I'm like, well, HCA's up. That's the leader in the industry. Work my way down. What chart looks good that could get an uplift today? And I do usually do it by capitalization. FMS is the next one. That's up already. AGL, that's up already. But these didn't look the best. But then when I looked at UHS and I saw all the bunch up levels right here in the pre-market, right towards like 138, I was like, yeah, we get through that nice 138, hold that on pullback. Doesn't look too bad here. Nice little move there, UHS. This is how I try to find plays. And I talked about there's a gap fill that it's trying to fill. That's a gap fill towards 145.21. I'll see if it fills it today. UHS.
EYPT moving up here. This is kind of a slower grind here, really kind of using the 9 EMA as support. 9 EMA, the VWAP, excuse me. Coming back towards it, but not quite touching it. Volume looks good here. EYPT. This one also, I feel like someone was talking about this recently. Trading, we're right back up at a resistance point, so this might be due for a pause here.
So that Microsoft, remember earlier? Yeah, I got like that 285. Remember, I got out on this little wick. So it happens, team. I got through that wick. I couldn't hold on that wick. You know, there could be tricks sometimes, and it definitely came right back down.
This is kind of what I was talking about earlier, right? You had the thesis, you had the plan, got stopped out because of your rules, and then the thesis ends up materializing. Exactly. It's just how it goes. It's just how it goes. Got to be able to hit it again.
And the big thing there was what? It was just too much risk for me. It got to the point where I felt uncomfortable in the trade. If I feel uncomfortable in the trade, guess what? No one's forcing me to be in the trade. I'll get out, right? I mean, that's what I'd like to do a lot of the times. Like if no one's over my shoulder being like, you have to trade Microsoft right now. So I got out, and it's okay. And the thing is not to look back at it and be mad about it. It's more understanding, okay, did I maybe set the sizing correctly? That's what's another thing that we can always talk about. Let's start seeing the SQQQs. Let's see if that can continue. Now I got towards the 3140s. 3150s is my next spot to take some profit here. I'll look to see if I can get the lift. All right, let's see if we can get a little bit of a push here. 43s, looking for 50s. Let's see if we get it. 44s. Let's go to the 3 charts and also see if Meta can go lower here and the Qs can go lower. Qs are going lower there. Nice little move. 314.22s. Meta going lower. That looks good for me on Meta and the SQQQ. So Meta is looking good now.
Paul, okay, let me make sure I get that right. Paul asking Delta head and shoulders top, Ryan. So I think what you're looking at is right here, right? So you're looking for this to maybe break down. If we do break down, downside target here would be 28. Maybe it would find some support at 31, but I think this is what you're looking at. I'll be honest, I don't trust any of the airlines. Delta, the best in class, as far as I'm concerned. It's actually what I choose to use when I have my choice as well. But definitely see what you're looking at here. Maybe we go lower here. I don't like the airline business at all, especially not right now.
Watching the SQQQs, I wanted to hold the 25 for pullback. Anything below that 25, and I'm just going to take the money and run on the SQQQs. I can keep working meta because it's a little bit further. But one thing about like leveraged plays, a lot of the times they do these range plays where it goes up to the top of the range, bottom of the range, and I'm not going to give up these gains. Qs are slowing down on the momentum. How do I know that? Because the bar is getting smaller, not bigger. One thing that I look for when we're getting breakdowns or breakups or breakouts, I look at the bars on the 5 minute. Are they expanding or contracting? What do I mean by that? Are the bars, the bodies getting bigger or smaller? You can see how this body is getting smaller as we start to close. We only got 1 minute left on this. If it expands and makes another bigger candle than this one, that shows me momentum speeding up. But if it's slower, it could be turnaround. It doesn't mean it has to be, but it's just something to think about.
Well, Mitch, let's apply that same lesson here to an intraday day trade that was on the list from this morning in Presto, PRST. So you're talking 5 minute chart. We're looking at the size of the bars. We had this nice reversal candle here. It kind of looks like an extended hammer. And then we have another bar. And now we have that bar kind of shortening up. Now, the interesting thing here is we do have the expanding volume that we're looking for. We did go through 309. We actually went through the VWAP 2, which was at about 307. But I'm seeing what you're just talking about. This bar here seems to be compressing and maybe not showing that same momentum.
Boom, just took some more out there in meta. You guys know what it is. It's that kind of day where I'm feeling the money. Let's go. Let's get it, team. Smash the like button out there. Yes, D-Factor, smash up those likes. There we go. Just got meta down there through that 210. And what happened there? Bigger bar, right? So on that bigger bar, I said, you know what? That's a nice expansion back towards almost the low of the day on meta, which is 209.58. I'll take some profit off there. So I took half off of that. Now just continuing to work. Still didn't get that SQQQs towards the 3150s though. And now you're seeing what? The bar closed there. It was a smaller bar and instantly we're bouncing back a little bit. Does it mean that we're going all the way back? No, but that's some things that I look at, team, to definitely catch what's going on.
And the opposite happened on PRST, right? We actually continued higher. It looks like 332, the next spot here. Jesse asking, Ryan, are you planning to have guests on the show next week while Mitch is gone? Yes, as a matter of fact, I am, Jesse, so stay tuned.
I love that. Love to hear it, guys. And one thing that I want to do more often is show you guys stuff like this from our book club, right? And so one thing that we do in our book club, and just give me 1 second so I'll find it for you guys right quick here, is we talk a lot about patterns, right? Right now we're working on patterns here. So I'll show you guys a little sneak preview. You guys are getting the good stuff right now. So look
Mitch,
at this pattern right here.
Real quick, Mitch, I got to make a phone call. So while you're doing that, I'm going to drop off. I'll be right back, my friend.
You got it, my friend. None of worries. So what do we have here is called the advanced block pattern. And so the block pattern is the one that we just saw. That's the bodies getting smaller as the expansion goes. Or it could be the stalled pattern. The stalled pattern is what's showing up for me on meta. Now this one, the advanced block is showing up for me in the red and the black term, not the white term. So it'd be the opposite to the downside. But just wanted to show you guys how we use these kind of pattern things to kind of get an advantage, right? You guys can be learning from this in the book club. So join the book club if you guys are really trying to expand your skills. And you guys see it there happening live. All right, so one thing I don't want to see is a 315 recovery here. And look how this is holding the 31 for pullbacks for me right now on the SQQQs. That's very important for me. I took profits at that 31. I don't want to be giving up the profits. I'm okay with pullbacks. I'm not okay with it coming all the way back to VWAP and then just getting me out. So if anything, we'll take the profits and run. It's been a good day already. We'll see what happens. So another thing is, are we using pre-market lows as resistance? So that's this line here. I'm going to make it really bold so you guys can see it. I think this is very important to watch for right now. Do we reject the pre-market low and then start to come right back down through 314? Anything above this move going to 315, I'll view it at myself as a little bit of reversal. You guys always choose your own levels. How do you join the book club? Well, you hit the link. I'll throw up the link right now for you. Just give me 1 second to grab that. And then, of course, it's an exclusive club, but it's absolutely for free. I really make it exclusive because I want it to be with people that truly, really are trying to learn. That's what it's all about on the book club, trying to make your financial journey take that next step. So you can see we're getting slightly above here, but not above the body close. The body level for me is 314.82. This is another very important level for me. So I'm okay with wicks going to there, but I want to see the body close below that 314.65 to show me weakness. It's about 10:08. We got about 1 minute left on this 5-minute candle. I've been calling out the times because I know that sometimes YouTube lags a little bit. So I try to help you guys out sometimes and calling out the times of what I'm seeing. So this candle will end at 10:10. I'm looking to see if we get above that 314.82s because that's not a good sign for me because it's against my trade. So I might just take the profits and run. But if we can continue the momentum, I don't mind just keep riding the momentum.
Speaking of momentum, MGRX continuing its next leg up, busted through 3, set a high of 318, currently flirting with that 3 level, trading sideways here again. I'm still expecting a pull at some point in MGRX. Hopefully that will pull back to the VWAP, shake out some of those weak hands, and give us another opportunity to take it long.
All right, we're about to get that candle to close here in just about 9 seconds here. And look how close it is to that 68 that I was talking about. Now it's starting to recover a little bit. 3 seconds here, 1 second here. Let's see where this next candle closes and opens. So you see how we close right underneath that 314.80s, but immediately test it. Now this is going to be the determining factor for me. We'll see what happens with this line here, 314.82. Is it right back down? Or if it does start popping, I think the Qs will come back towards the VWAP. That's where I got to be a little bit careful. Already at that 331.25 spot where I want to see it catch the bounce. But if it blows through that, I got to take the profits and run.
Yeah, Jesse, of course it's okay if you DM me.
All right, we'll see what's going on in Meta there. Can it get the move right back there? Watching the Qs here. It's going to be very important, so I'm stretching it out so I could see it really nice. SQQQ's pulling back. I'm about to take the profits in that. It's a battle on right now. Could be a little bit of a wick action, so it's rejecting that 315 move, but I know if it hits that 315, I'm going to get some continued downside on the SQQQs here.
Paul's asking, why don't we stream on zero lag on Twitch? So I actually do stream on Twitch, and there's still a little bit of a lag, even if you set it to 0. So.
Yeah, and the big thing with that is that, so I just took the SQQQ trade off team. It hit that 315 for a second, and I said, you know what, I'm out of the SQQQs. Took that profit and ran in the SQQQs. Of course, that was kind of swing turned into day trade because I added to it, right? So in that case, I'll take the money and run here. It could reverse right back down, so I'm still in the meta trade. And why? Because that gave me an expansion candle versus what the SQQQs gave me, which is kind of a reversal right back down. I could always get back into the name, but I'll just watch Meta now to see if I get that continuation. If the Qs do reverse, I'll get the continuation. If not, Meta will probably break even me stopped out. So we'll see what happens on that Meta. Qs are bouncing a little bit here, but still kind of not getting to the VWAP. It's like kind of fighting the 315 spot. All right, let's see what else is going on. How we doing out there, team? We're going to be wrapping up at 10:30, so we got about 18 minutes here. I'm going to wrap up a little bit earlier today because I got lots to get ready for, and of course, a lot of meetings today and things to get ready for my departure.
I hope you have a great time, Mitch. I hope it's absolutely awesome. The one cruise that I was on was absolutely amazing. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Looking forward to not doing much. That's the idea here is I never get 7 days off. Let's just be honest. Like I never get like 5 days off in a row. I usually maybe take 1 day off and then I'm right back at it.
Yeah,
so.
My hack, Mitch, is to plan my vacations so they overlap a weekend so I can take a couple of days 1 week and a couple of days the next week, but not miss a full week. That is literally my strategy, and it's worked.
Yeah, let's just say probably won't happen again for a long time. So I'm gonna try to enjoy it the most I can. All right, there's the cues back to VWAP, and that was important for me, right? Because I wanted to avoid this VWAP test for the SQQQs. Does it mean that I can't get in the SQQQs here? No, I can always get back in, but I'm not going to give up the gains here. Now, for me, now I could go at it a different way, right? I could look at the SQQQs, or if I wanted to, what's going on with Sox S? Sox S pulling back here. That made a nice little push above towards 2025. I'm going to look for a little bit of a pullback, slightly below VWAP on this case, because I see the support towards 1986 here. Let me see if I get a crack towards 1990s and then a turnaround in the Sox S trade.
Mitch, you can't handle the truth has a great idea. Wear a life preserver the whole time and tell everyone it's your stop loss. That is so good.
Can I tie it on a string and call it a trailing stop loss?
Okay, you guys are going.
It's a trailing stop loss. It's just a hit in case I need it.
Mitch, can you post the book club info for Tassie Vega?
Of course I may. I'll throw it right back up here. This is the link. You guys just hit that link. And the reason I get that link is that I get your email and I send you the link to the book club. It's exclusive. You guys can't even find it on YouTube. So you guys got to be a part of the book club if you're going to step up. And really, I'm doing this as a way to give back to you guys, right? We don't charge a single dime for the book club. It's all about just trying to give you guys a little extra. And we usually do these on Sunday night. I will let you know, though, that we're going to take a little bit of a 2-week hiatus as I will be setting sales on Sunday.
Well earned, by the way, Mitch. Well earned. NFTG, NFT gaming popping here on pretty nice volume. Let's see if there's any news. I didn't see anything on Twitter. Don't really see any news here, but it is popping. Just a little stock here.
I like the name.
NFTG, NFT gaming.
Yeah, I like the name. Maybe it pullbacks towards 120 is what I see. But of course, you guys determine your own levels. But reason why 120, just look to the left, right? 5 minute. If it could pull back into the kind of 120, I could see that kind of bottoming 117. I could get in around there looking for that retrace right back to the upside. But that's just because I don't know what's going on. A lot of times I'll need to know if there's a catalyst to try to give me that upside action. And it's already pulling back to the VWAP 125. We'll see if it holds VWAP here. I like to look for the slight below cut. There's 122s. Sox S is kind of giving me a little bit of interest to here at 20s.
MGRX still holding this 3 area. We broke down beneath 3, but we're not really breaking down just yet. It'll be interesting to see where this goes. Up now we are breaking. All I needed to do was talk about, folks. We can force it to break down. That's how it goes.
Trying to be patient here on Sox S, even though I want to hop in right now. I feel like we can get a little bit of a test of VWAP. The Qs are on VWAP. Sox S isn't. So it's kind of hard for me to go into it. A lot of times I look for pullbacks near the support. The support's down to 86. So if I get in here at 09s, I'm essentially risking down here about 20 cents for a move back towards 26 cents. That doesn't make sense for me, risk and reward wise. So I have to be patient and look for the pullback. If it just goes here off the 20, then so be it, right? I don't do one-to-one trades. I know that you guys sometimes see Zunaid do those, but that's up to him, right? His personality. Find what works best for you. For me, one-to-one trades, they don't work, team. They just don't work.
Yeah, I try to stay away from one-to-one too. I like to put the odds in my favor a little bit better if I'm going to take something. Real quick here. PRST. PRST looks like it's trying to move to this 332 spot. We're still getting a little bit of a pullback in MGRX, but PRST looking like we're trying to take out this next level here, like seeing the higher low than the previous low. So that's pretty good. We got a nice little volume pop here. PRST looking good for a potential takeout of 332.
Oh, and Trader Fail giving us some insight on the not the YouTube life. And if we go to Twitch, this what could happen. All of a sudden they do an ad in the middle of our show. What?
Yeah, I'll say this. I watch Twitch just because I enjoy video games. There are some streamers that I really like, and that happens, right? Like the middle of a really important part of the stream, you'll get a random ad, and it's frustrating. So I'm with you there. Totally get it. Market bouncing pretty nicely here too, by the way. Back up to about unchanged.
All right, guys, I'm looking right now at Success here, looking to already get a little bit here. See what I can do here.
Don't really see any unusual options here today. I guess the EQT calls. May 19th, 35 calls. We're currently at just under 33 on EQT. They're looking for a breakout here on EQT. With those calls, that's about the most interesting thing I've seen so far.
So looking for a little bit of pullback action here in Success here. I have that 86 support. It went to like 93 there, but the Qs are moving up. So it's kind of weird to see this action where it bounced there. So it could just miss and just kind of go off the VWAP, not hit the support. I'm looking to see if the Qs turn around, essentially here. Did do a big bar up, though. So we got to be careful with that. That was a big bar. What's up with the meta? Meta! 2010-75 rejection. At least I don't have to stress too much about that one. All right, team, we're going to be wrapping up around 10:30 here.
ATVI.
There's a pullback there.
So ATVI right here, this might be a potential swing here. So this kind of looks like a floating island, right? We kind of came back. Now we're drifting up towards the top. We're trying to break out here. This might be a potential swing. If you take this here, I'd say keep your stops tight. Next target here would probably be 90s. Yeah, 90s right up in here. Yep. Nice. Might have a nice little 5-point swing here on ATVI. Nice setup, ATVI.
All right, starting to see a little bit. The Qs have come back so much now. It's kind of hard to go after Success.
And you know what else, Mitch? The Qs have really here. Let me bring it up. I'm sure you have it up.
This could just be the chop move, though. This is the problem. It could just be the chop move. So
see, that's
I'm gonna take my shot. I'm gonna take my shot.
See, Mitch, it came right back to where it was consolidating before it broke down before. So could you see another breakdown from here very easily?
I took my shot there. Success team. I got in there 1993. So I was looking for 86. It went to 87. So I didn't get 86, of course. So, but as it started coming back, I took my shot. The big thing for me is just going to be looking at the Qs. And you see how this trend line that I have drawn for me, at least this is the outlook that I'm really going to be watching. If it gets above that high that we just made, that's where it gets scary. 316.10. Well, I'll keep watch to see if we kind of reject 316 here and come right back down. It's a hard trade, though, I'll tell you that. So always, guys, you guys choose your own levels. The reason why it's a hard trade is if the Qs push, the Success trade is going to go quickly on me. So one thing that I always look at is what's the next layer of support? When it turns around on me, where is it probably going to go to? Probably 1981. So that's going to be my risk here. And why do I know that? I'm just looking at the 5 minute, seeing the next lower level, right? Next lower level for me on the 5 minute is that 1981. So that's about what? Risking about 12 cents here for a nice little move back to the high, which is 34. And that's what? 40 cents. So Ryan, remember how it was 1-to-1? Now it's 40 cents to 12 cents.
Much better risk to reward.
I'll take that anytime. I can't take that 1-to-1. You know, that 1-to-1 thing kills me so much, man. And what we're talking about is profit to loss ratio, team. Look into that. And it's so important to try to keep mathematical probability in your favor. Meta coming back fast. I will say that. We'll see what happens.
PayPal 60 puts going off.
PayPal. Jenny talking about PayPal there. I don't know why, but I just want to say Jenny from the block, but I don't know why. J-Lo. Pinkies up, team. Pinkies up. Almost wrapping up here. About 7 minutes, team. We'll wrap up here, but we'll see what happens on success. And like always, team, all I can always do is just take trades, understand probability, try to execute versus try to be right.
So
right?
EYPT, good call here. This is halted. Big push up. Big push up and halted here. $33 price target on EYPT.
At least you like that one, Jenny. AB on today? I don't think so, Crow. Don't think so. He doesn't have a show on Friday. But AB will be helping next week here. So stick around, team. You might see a little bit of AB action on live trading. Got to put him to the test, Crow. All right, Q's battling here. Like always, you guys be careful with your positions. Either way, keep watch. We did get a quick B reversal in the Q's today. So I'm keeping watch also.
PRST through that 332. New highs here on PRST. We talked about this one going up.
Look at that rejection of this trend line here on the Q's. It goes right to it and just rejects it on the one. We'll see if it takes it out here. It could take it out. I'm not saying that it's going to hold it, right? I'm just saying that I saw it go right to it and reject it. Right to it again. So got to be careful here. Meta's coming back. That might get me out, team.
MGRX trying to bounce off that 272. We'll see. I'd actually still like this to come more into VWAP. That would be better.
Got my hand on the trigger to get out of meta here. It's like just slightly getting me into the red right here, but I'm looking to see if we reject the 211.75s.
Yeah, look at this. Look at how awesome our viewers are. Arson Phoenix, I think is how you're supposed to pronounce that without the vowels. Don't forget to ensure Ryan has the show intro and outro before Money Mitch leaves. So Mitch, let's talk about that real quick. Do I have access to that?
Yes, you do. I'll give it to you right now. Just give me a second here.
Yeah, no rush.
All right, there, out of meta. Had to take care of my meta trade there.
Absolutely. Focus on trading first.
You know how that one goes. Be careful here. At least the Qs, meta came back really quickly. That shows me a little bit worrisome here for the success trade. But on the success trade, what am I going to do? I'm just going to stick to the levels that I've already determined, right? I'm not going to change my outlook. I'm just going to stick to the levels. For me, that's more than enough. Why? Because it's my risk to reward that matters more. All right, so I can go ahead and show you here. It's nice and easy, right? All right, so Ryan, you see where it says brand?
Yes.
Hit brand.
Okay.
All right. Well, what do you see at the top?
Brand color. I see video clips. I see video clips down here.
You see, does it say live trading at the top? Like
live trading with Benzinga, yes.
There you go. You're in the right section here. Everybody's learning how to use StreamYard today. You guys can check it out. Powered by StreamYard.
Intro updated.
There you go. That's it. Intro,
and the outro.
Actually, let me delete the wrong ones here. I got you there.
There you
don't
go.
Want that one. You just want the live trading one. Everything under that is going to be kind of jokes. We have some good jokes, right? I mean, we have some good time, team. I mean, you know who I haven't seen in a while that I really want to see? I haven't seen this guy in a while here. Where's he at? Let me find him here. Oh, this one's the best one, I think.
I don't even know.
What they want, Hawk smash. What they need, Hawk smash. I will never lose. I'm a beast. Hawk smash. If you want it, Hawk smash. Come and get it.
That's Hulk Zaid, man. Hulk Zaid
as Hulk is something else.
Hulk Zaid out there. Be careful. Be careful, Becca. Be careful out there. Hulk Zaid out there. All right, well, it just got out of that success on that decline there. You see the Qs break through that level. Don't want to be in that trade there. We'll see if it reverses back in the later part of the day. And still in the green at least, and that's what matters to me, right? So even though I got some losses today, kept the kind of green outlook, right? Taking the green. Now I got to think about AAL. That's the only one that I'm really thinking about if I'm going to want to keep this when I'm on my cruise, I might just set a stop, like a GTC order. You get what I mean? Good till cancel. And so what's a GTC order for those out there, so you guys understand? Let's talk a little bit about that. We don't normally talk about orders, right? So GTC, right? A lot of times when you're putting your orders in, like your regular stops, your stop limits, things like that, that's going to be for intraday action, right? That's for if the market closes, it ends your order and it just sends it back to you, right? But if you want an order to stay out there, you can put what's called a GTC order. And of course, this is only going to be hitting you if it's in the intraday market, right? Not stops don't work in the pre-market. Just to let you guys know out there. In the extended, there you go. Way better wording, right? And so what we're looking at here is that I could be like, okay, well, for like American Airlines, of course, I got in at like 1309. You guys know how I am. I don't want to lose too much on this now that it's gone up multiple times, more than 4%. So I'd probably hold off at the 13 spot here, but I could put the stop there at the 13. And if for any day it does go below that, let's just get me out, right? So that's just one way that I can think about if I want to stay in that American trade. So we'll find out what I do on that one. But just wanted to do a little bit more of a learning lesson today. I hope you guys enjoyed a little bit talk, especially for those beginners. Some don't know about those, right? Good to canceled. Boom, boom, boom. You guys know about those, but I think it's important to understand order. And Dennis did a whole like kind of learning session on this. They did a whole like literally a webinar on just understanding how you can use different orders to help you get an advantage. All right, another one, Honeywell, slightly in the red, not really going much for me. I have a feeling this one eventually works out. But to tell you the truth, team, since it's not doing anything for me, I got 197.28. It's been there for like 3 days, not doing anything for me. I'm going on a cruise. I'm just going to take it off there. I just took it off there. Slight, tiny loss there in Honeywell, especially with the swing trade size. Losing 20 cents isn't going to do anything to me. We'll see what happens there on Honeywell, but I'm out of that one. So now I only had Gilead and American Airlines, right? And so Gilead has been doing great today, so I'm going to let that continue to work. That one's probably going to be one that I'll put a GTC order in, and the same thing for American, as those look pretty strong, so I'll leave that alone. But look at the Qs. Do we do a little break above, and now we're slightly back below that 316? We could be running into some more chop. All right, that's going to do it for my outlook. I hope you guys enjoyed this week, last week, and the way that we've been going. I truly have felt like I've gotten a little bit more in the zone, trying to mix the swing and the day trading life. It's really hard. I'll tell you guys that also. You guys know my results aren't guaranteed. Your results are going to be similar. It's very difficult to trade. Ryan and I have been at this for now, I mean, more than like 6 to 8 years now. So getting after it, like always, I think it's very important. Always try to find one way to up your skills. So, and that's one thing that I always give to all traders. Find some way to up your skills. What is it? Maybe it's learning a little bit more about order execution. Maybe it's learning about how do I use time in sales. Maybe it's learning about technicals. Maybe it's just learning about fundamentals. How do you look deeper into like 10Ks? How do you take an advantage? There's always something to learn in the financial industry. So I keep hoping that you guys expand, and of course expand right here on Benzinga, the #1 place to grow your financial journey, whichever way that may be. Sometimes it could be the NFTs, right? Sometimes it could be stocks. It could be crypto. You guys want to grow? I'll tell you what, Benzinga will be here to continue growing with you guys. All right, that's going to do it for us. Any last words, Ryan?
Yeah, Mitch, enjoy your vacation, man. Well earned. Just make sure you enjoy your time off, refresh, come back, get ready to go. Really appreciate everyone hanging out. We're going to have fun next week. Dan, thanks for the kind comments. Really appreciate that, along with everyone else. Enjoy it, Mitch. We'll see you.
Of course. We'll see you guys. Have a great one. Hit the like. We'll see you guys like always. And don't forget it, you still will have live trading. And be nice to my man, Ryan. He's going to try to take control and hold it down. So we'll see you next time here, team. Smash the like. Hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. What are you waiting for? See you next time.